Hello ladies. Well, I am on 19 and a half hours of my fasting and I'm looking forward to feasting at 20 hours. And I'm feeling pretty good, but I did need to make a cup of black coffee just to get me over that edge. I also find if I drink a tall glass of water, that tends to help as well. Now this evening, I am going to be making chicken, and this is the thigh with the skin and with the bone in. Now, the thigh meat to me is so much better than chicken breast. It has so much more flavor. It can tend to be a little bit more tender. I always make sure I have the bone in because that's really where all the flavor is, but I'm not worried about the fat, so I'm leaving the skin on. And then we have mushrooms, and according to Dr. Gundry, we should all be eating, let's see, he said a cup twice a week, and they are packed full, especially the shiitake, but this includes all mushrooms as well, beta glucan. And what that is good for is your cholesterol. It's great for your blood sugar, and it's also really healthy for your gut. So let's begin, and I'm gonna just move this here so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so I have my chicken here, and I am going to salt with sea salt. And I actually got the fine sea salt. I wish I would have gotten a little bit more coarser of a grind. And then I'm gonna pepper. And then I'll salt and pepper when I get it into the pan. And then I'm also using olive oil. Now I use the good kind. Don't buy your olive oil in the supermarket. I will do another video explaining why. And then we want to get this in to our pan. And here again, we've been misled. We've been told we cannot, or we should not, we should not do any sauteing or cooking at high temperatures with olive oil because it doesn't have a high smoke point. But that is a false. Olive oil will not go rancid. Again, Dr. Gundry. I have learned so much from watching his YouTube videos, so I'm going to really recommend you all go over to Dr. Gundry's YouTube and start watching. He's fantastic. He was a child heart surgeon, and he decided he wanted to author books, and so he came out, and I think it was The Plant Paradox, and it was all about lectins. And in fact, if you go Google lectin right now, it's going to say it's a fad diet. I just think people are so wrong. I think if you are really not feeling well, especially with your gut issues, read The Plant Paradox and cut out the lectins. It makes so much sense. And he's all about the science. So what does the science say? You need to follow the science. And that's really according to my husband, who's an eye doc. He will not listen to anybody unless they are following the science. And so we've got this going here. Now I'm going to cook my chicken to about 165, and then when that's done, I'll come back. Okay, so if you've watched my vegan cooking shows, you know that I really don't follow a recipe. I always say I'm adding a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So the original recipe was just for mushrooms, but I decided to add homegrown tomatoes that were growing aeroponically, and then some zucchini that's also been grown aeroponically, as well as fresh garlic. So I'm going to add that. It sounds really good to me. I'm hungry and I need some more vegetables. Now, if Dr. Gundry's watching, these are not lectin approved, except for the garlic. So they do contain lectins. So it's going to be a great dinner. Okay, the original recipe said to get it to a temperature of 165, and it's really slow going. So I'm actually going to take it off early, put it on a plate, let it accumulate those juices, and then once I get the vegetables in there, I'm going to throw the chicken back in there, and then I'm going to simmer it to get it to a perfect temperature. Okay, for all you fat lovers out there, Kerrygold butter, the best butter on the market, all grass fed. And I'm going to add quite a bit of butter. Because everything tastes good with butter, and you're not worried about the fat, and you can eat as much as you want. And so it's really hot, so I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit because I do not want my vegetables to get burnt. And so, sauce. There wasn't too much of the chicken fat in there. But let's just throw these in. And it's so different cooking vegan. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I was vegan for over a year. And I lost 27 pounds, but my health really declined on the vegan diet, and I really wish I could say that that wasn't true, but my blood work showed I had very, very little vitamin D, potassium, and then my kidneys were elevated. And within just a couple of weeks of adding some good protein to my diet, my blood work completely changed. So, anyway, so I'm not quite ready to add my zucchini, and the garlic is going to go last. I'm going to saute these, and when they get close to being done, we'll go ahead and add the zucchini and the tomato, and then we'll top it off with garlic. I wish you could smell the mushrooms cooking in the olive oil, the little bit of chicken fat, and the butter. The butter is actually browned, and it's just so toasty, and it smells heavenly. So we're going to add the zucchini, and I can already tell, you know what, I should have cut the rest of that zucchini because I'm going to eat the whole thing. This looks so good. My husband does not like mushrooms, so he'll definitely eat the chicken, and I'll eat all the yummy mushrooms. Okay, so let's just put these in, saute them for a while, a few minutes with the tomatoes, and then I will add the garlic. Okay, it is time to add my favorite, the garlic. I'm just gonna sprinkle that on. Oh, it smells so good. And we are going to quickly put back the chicken because I do not want that garlic to burn. And see, look at all these amazing chicken juices. Keep every bit of that. And then, oh my gosh, more fat, heavy whipping cream. We're just going to add that like so. I'm going to salt and pepper a little bit, just a tiny bit, not too much. Do not overdo it. You could always add salt later. And then we are going to put the lid on this, and I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, let's check and see how it is. And oh, doesn't that look beautiful? And let's go ahead and check the internal temperature. We've got to make sure it is 165. And we've got it. This looks great. I'm going to check this one too. This is my big one. And that looks good. So why don't you join me at the table and we'll take a taste. Okay, I can't wait to try this. It smells absolutely wonderful. I have been fasting now for 20 hours and about 20 minutes. The chicken did take a lot longer to cook. I covered it and I set the timer for 20 minutes and it still did not reach 165. So I gave it another 10 minutes and so now it's done. So if you're using thighs without the bone, it's going to take less time to cook, but like I said, the bone is what gives you all the great flavor. Just smelling the sauce, if I wasn't having such a high-fat dinner tonight, if it was more of a celebration dinner, I would definitely serve this over pasta or even rice. So let's take a taste and see what it tastes like. Oh my gosh, it was worth the 20-hour wait for this. This is incredible. The chicken is cooked to perfection. The mushrooms are fabulous. And the tomato, let me get the tomato in there too. Oh my gosh. This is a winner. And I didn't really use a recipe. I just used a little bit of this and a little bit of that. If I had some fresh spinach, I'd probably serve it on a big bed of fresh spinach. Heavenly. Try and make it. Let me know if you do. I want to hear all about it. Have a good evening and bon appetit.